guy who wrote the paper, his name is something like Cariani, Peter Cariani, I think. I just said his name, bro, but I just forgot it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
like
Carry on.
it's basically like along the lines of Howard Patsy's work, right? On like which is what the lecture is about, right? Lecture 19.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really along those lines, the epistemic cut stuff, like the uh symbolic versus dynamic modes.
Yeah, I just think it's like.
Like it's like what Turvey, and it's like what Rosen talks about, like with formalization, right? And in predicativities that are like, and predicativities are inherently non-formalizable.
Yeah, it's just like there's a quote from here. They observed a network of transistors self-organize into a primitive radio, specifically a system that sensed and used radio waves emanating from a nearby personal computer.
Yeah.
Like that's uh, uh, that's so stupid. Like it's not self-organized. You made it.
Yeah, you made
You
it.
you made it.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, he clarifies, what's meant by tinkering.
Yeah.
I'm still fucking trying to find the lectures. Here we go. I was looking for the PDF in like all of my tabs for so long.
I wonder why.
Okay. Let's see. I gotta get to the lecture. Yo, what's up, Brooks? I didn't say what's up.
I didn't actually read anything. I just want to listen.
That's cool. That's fine. Uh, this is like at the end of like lecture 19 that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. But um
Past year.
the symbol the PSSH stuff is kind of it's I wouldn't say I don't get it. It's more that I'm just not really sure. Like this just seems this whole symbol manipulation and stuff is just like you know they think intelligence can be digitized and there's
Yeah, I mean, a lot of a lot of the more important points in lecture 19 are what's leading into lecture 20.
right.
The beginning like introduction to like the thermodynamic stuff. The convection cells.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And evolution's tinkering. Right. It's like it's like in Austrian economics, right? They talk about the roundabout like character, right, of production. Like the production structure of production.
I don't know that. I haven't
Okay.
I haven't I haven't
Brooks.
read any.
Maybe Brooks is aware. Is he an Austrian? Yeah, you're a Rothbardian, bro. You should be
Yeah,
aware of this shit.
I haven't read.
The roundabout nature of
No,
production.
yeah,
Okay. Let's see here. Man, economy and state.
yeah. I haven't read Man, Economy, and State yet.
You
uh,
read the logic of action?
No, I started I started
roundabout.
human action, and I just
Oh,
like
human action is hard to read.
yeah,
So I had a probably hard time to read it. Rothbard is much clearer.
yeah. I want to read MES. I just it's lower on my scale right now.
Oh yeah, it's a bumblework thing. Yeah, the roundabout ways of capital or fruitful but long. They procure us more or better consumption goods, but only at a later period of time. Yeah, Bonework is the great founder of production structure analysis. So yeah, Bonework, is roundaboutness, production structure and all that. That's basically what's Terry's talking about, with evolution's tinkering, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
It's not like a central. There's no like central executive, central plan.
right, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I
It's
mean,
not planning. It's not planning ahead. It's just uh working with what it has.
yeah, working within these constraints or whatever.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like calling evolution a tinkerer. Yes, it's you know, there's just constraints, and it's acting according to those constraints, along those constraints.
Well, it's not like evolution's a tinkerer, but evolution's tinkering.
Yeah,
Right.
right. Yeah, that's what.
Uh,
Yeah. There's no evolutionary capitalism going on. There's
Evolution's variant of tinkering to part significantly, from like the Rube Goldberg kind of
yeah,
machine.
the pancake maker. I changed.
The metaphor of tinkering can only be of value to liberate evolutionary capabilities of DNA. We've already talked
Well,
about that,
yeah.
in like lecture 12.
Yeah. So selfish gene. Uh, it says that DNA is sealed off from the organism, right? Like it's only DNA cannot be changed by external any other influences.
Yeah, yeah, but like more than that. I mean, Swenson talks about this, right? That it's trying to smuggle an agency, right? Where specifically where you can't have agency. I mean, like genes, right? Like DNA is like the most inert, like dead molecule, relatively speaking, in the whole system. Right, the most inert component, like by design,
Uh huh.
and I mean that's like when you're a reductionist, it looks it looks really like fundamental because you could
Yeah.
you could even discover it in fucking like fossils and
Yeah.
shit. Right, you can get DNA out of fossils, right?
Yeah.
Uh, because it's independent, like it's totally independent of the dynamics, right? But it doesn't have any function outside of the dynamics, right? That's like the whole thing that's going on with like Howard Patty here.
Whoa, wait. Wouldn't it still be part of the dynamics because DNA can be shaped by one idea?
Yeah. I mean, it has no function outside the dynamics. It's just
Oh, right.
inherent. Like its function is to be like this discontinuity that just sits there.
Its
Like a like a
function.
like like a like a boulder in a
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah, and
Right in a river.
it's meant to be cheap and
Right, and cheap to reproduce. Right,
cheap
so
to
you don't have to.
reproduce. Yeah.
Basically, it's totally like disconnected from the dynamics that produced it, right, and that maintain it. Right, it's like it just like we talked about this before with like the potential wells and computational engineering, right, and how that
Mhm.
works. Right, and Patty has a lot of work on that. Right, his work really focuses on that.
Okay.
But it's like yeah. Basically, it because it's independent of the dynamics, right? You don't have to reconstruct the whole dynamics in order to replicate it. You know what I mean?
Right. It you don't need to reconstruct the heart to get the DNA that makes the.
Like you don't need, yeah, you don't need to fucking reconstruct the whole fucking organism or the whole like literally like on uh evolutionary like time scales, right? Like the whole evolution of the organism, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The DNA makes it can make the heart, the two heart cells, and then the heart cells they go
It
through
doesn't
growth.
make anything. It doesn't do anything. That's the point, right? The point is that it doesn't do anything,
Well, hold on, hold on, hold
right?
on.
So
It must
that makes
do something.
no. It has to do nothing. That's the whole point. That or else you would have to, you know, you would have more that you would have to, you have to construct when you reproduce it, right? When you replicate it, right? Like the less, the better. Like as least like you want to export all the dynamics as
So
possible. You know,
okay, maybe
nothing can depend on it. You know.
maybe we're talking maybe I think I guess when I say it does something, I mean that it's acting as this boulder,
No,
right?
it doesn't act like it. Literally
No,
doesn't do anything, bro. This is the whole point,
but
right?
but you
This
just compared
swim.
it to a rock in a stream, right? Like that's
Yeah,
what
it literally just sits there. You
right.
know?
So I guess I'm I'm saying that the purpose of DNA is to just sit there, right? Just sit there and be this constraint, right?
Right,
Is
right,
that
right.
right? Okay. That's kind of okay.
But if it was like, dynamically like interdependent, right, with, the dynamics, right?
Right.
Then it would have all these other variables that you would have to account for, right? But
Sure.
then you don't have to, right? The DNA it's still there after the fucking organism dies. You know what I mean? It's not interdependent with any of the dynamics.
I see. I see what you're saying. Okay.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, I get it. It's just when I think of
What are
I
you
mean, there's
talking about right
DNA
now?
has a purpose. Like it exists.
I'm
It's
I'm trying to like explain it in very like simple. It doesn't have
yeah.
a purpose outside of the system.
Well, sure. Nothing has a purpose outside of a system. The system, right?
But it still has like a structure,
Well,
right?
like,
That's it doesn't have a function, but it's still like a
Right.
structure you can take
Yeah.
out, and isolate. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's a
in
rock
what
in a
sense are
Unlike
we?
unlike anything else, unlike anything else in
yeah.
any other component of the system of the living system.
I get it.
In what
Yeah.
sense are we using like purpose? Because I always thought like purpose is mind dependent.
Yeah, I mean Swenson talks about the errors with that, but
Yeah,
I would
because
just recommend reading his newest papers. Like the 2025 paper and the 2024 paper.
like even objectivists say that.
Yeah, I mean like it's just I mean Cartesianism is just like it's really widespread.
Well, it's more like I can't make sense of purpose in my head without thinking about
Well, I mean it's like
minds doing things.
yeah, read Swenson's newspapers, bro, and you have a really like eye-opening moment about that.
Anything particular you want to send to me?
Yes, his 2025 and 2024 paper. I'll put it right. I was gonna pull up another paper from him just now, so
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably make more sense of it if you like provide like a definition of purpose that doesn't like entail a mind.
I mean, bro, like I think like we've already been over this. You weren't here for the lecture that we went over this, I think, but I kind of want to just stick with the lecture.
That's fine.
But this is like it's you're not it's like you're detaching yourself from something that's very like ubiquitous, something that's very like ordinary. It's because you're like trying to rationalize it. You know what I mean? So I think if you just
What
like
do you what do you mean?
like Swenson makes it very clear, that it's obvious, that it like the second law of thermodynamics, right, entails that physics is not passive, right? It's active and directed, right? And that's just like a fact of nature, you know.
Yeah, so like, what do you mean is like given certain like
And just like
affordances, something will do something.
living systems just exploit that fact in their own way. Like I mean, everything does.
Yeah.
I see.
But you should really read those. I just put it in the VC text. You know what you should read. Read these two
Alright.
papers, and
I mean, I'm
you'll
going
come to
to
like some clarity about that.
yeah, I'm going to work really soon. But I'll get to that after.
Okay. The one I wanted to send earlier, this one.
Like
This one. Not for you. For oh no's.
maybe to like make it more clear, just like right off the bat, like how are you defining purpose here? Like what does it mean for like material objects to be indirected?
I mean, purpose. Like, I wouldn't. I would use purpose. Like in a narrower sense. For just like human goals, right? But not like making any sort of dualism. Just like for differentiation, right? But
Sure, I
I mean,
get
it's
that.
just yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just like second law, like irreversibility. That's just what it is.
One sec. My mom was talking to me. Can you like repeat that?
It's just this. It's just second law irreversibility, bro.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's just like the broadest statement I can make about it. Second law of thermodynamics, right? I mean,
Okay.
indirectness is just a fact of every single process. Every single natural process is irreversible. Every single real world process is irreversible.
Right.
It's end directed. It's insensitive to initial conditions. So I mean, that's what it is. You want to point to end directedness. You want to point to purpose or whatever.
Did your mic cut out? All right.
I think he's muted now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a phone call.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's what I wanted to send earlier before he started asking you know, basic questions about dualism. Like it's literally like the first fucking couple sentences of those papers I just linked, bro. He's just like, no, you're fucking stupid. You're a fucking Cartesian, bro.
Yeah, I
In the
really need
first
to
couple.
I really need to read that
I mean,
2025
yeah,
paper.
read those like those newest papers by Swenson and read like the one with Turvey that he did.
Okay.
Here's the one that I wanted to link to.
All
And
right.
you'll see this is like uh this is where he's talking about what I was talking about, like how, uh that they're like the most inert components, they're rate independent. Right. And he talks about this in the 2025 paper and in the 2024 paper and in a couple of other papers, but
Okay.
this paper he's like very like explicit about it. Like I mean he's like it's like the focus of the paper. I mean he's explicit about it in the newer papers too. But like the whole point about that is there. shit. I don't have any water, man. My mouth is fucking dry as shit right now. My water's empty.
You got that cotton mouth.
So what's next? What are you? I mean, like,
I'm
go back to the beginning of lecture 19 and like see if there's anything else to talk about.
yeah. So we got through the pancake machine. I I guess I'm sort of curious about well, the whole like past year thing. I think I pretty much understand that, but it seems pretty stupid. It seems like they're just trying to make a computer and say like, oh yeah, the brain's just a computer. You know, I can tinker with a mechanical system enough to get it to react to a certain two frequencies, and
Oh yeah, that's what it's doing, right? They're
yeah,
tinkering with it.
yeah, they're tinkering with it to get it to discriminate two different frequencies, a 50 hertz frequency and a 100 hertz frequency, and they even like call it the training procedure, and uh, after they train it, then it becomes easier to train the second sound. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's just an ear, and then they can get it to train it to do temperature, or they can determine temperature and pH level and vibrations and all this stuff. But yeah, it just seems like they think they can make a Turing machine, just be the brain, just be a person, just be thought, I guess.
Yeah, I remember I remember not really getting like I think I understand now further why he's bringing in past ear here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it isn't important. Like it is an important thing in um basically like computational engineering, like the actual, not elevating computation to ontology, right? Not elevating formalization to like ontology, right? Because computational engineers like actually would have to acknowledge that they have to use like irreversibility, right, to like export irreversibility from something in order to treat it as reversible. Right, yeah, to give it like a purely formal description, which is necessary for computation. Like this is what we talked about, remember? But and this is all like what Patty Howard Patty's work is on. And I'll just link Patty's work, the collection I have of his work in in the chat. VC text.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, there's like a book in there too. Laws, Language, and Life is like is like 2012, like they collected a bunch of his like most important essays, or some of them.
And he's the guy that's all about symbols, right?
The physics of symbols,
Physics
right?
symbols.
The physics of symbols, right? And this is like, and this is something that's just like there's a lot to say about this, right? I have a lot of notes on this, and you'll see in my Obsidian vault.
Aren't
Right?
symbols an epistemic thing? Like, what? How does physics?
No. That's the thing, right? It's not, right? It's like we were talking about before, like digging a potential well and all that, right?
Okay, right. Yeah.
And you trap some substructure so that it becomes severed from the original dynamics, so you can't recover the original dynamics, right? And it can't escape the well by like any ordinary fluctuations of its own. So you can just ignore those fluctuations, and you could just ignore the material, properties of it completely, right? So you can just have a
Okay.
Boolean measure,
And
right?
that's what a symbol
A
is.
one or a zero. Like it's either in the hole, it's either in the well, or it's not. You know what I mean?
Oh, and that's what a symbol is.
Right. You know, so it's
Interesting.
like through like a shape sorter toy, right? It like and it just like the Boolean measure is just like, you know, it's like I'm fitting the square, like the cube, right?
Yeah.
Through this pre-cut aperture, right? But
Okay.
it's not. It's the whole point is that uh it's erasing everything about it, everything about the cube, everything, all the material properties of it, and it's just whether it goes through the hole or not. You know what I mean?
Right. It's just a square hole, but it has nothing to do
Right.
with the cube
Exactly.
anymore.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point,
Okay,
and
I see.
how that's how computational engineering works, right? Actually, actually works.
Okay, right.
So and Pati, it's fucking his name is so weird to say, bro.
Alright.
Pati, he goes like really like deep into this like the physics of symbols. It's something that's it's like not popular or
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean that.
It's like not intuitive or whatever. You know,
Yeah. Oh yeah. You went well. Exactly. When you told me that, I was like, what? But I see it now. Okay.
but it's very important
Yeah. I mean, it's good that we talked about that well last week, because that
because
way.
once you understand, like, because basically the real world, I mean like real dynamics and stuff, like the dynamical mode is like a limit on the symbolic mode, you know what I mean? It's like once you identify the class of systems that are machines, right, then you're already outside of that system. You're already outside of that class. You're looking at it from the outside,
I see.
right?
Oh, right, right. Once when you make a symbol for something, you're outside the dynamics.
I mean, what I mean is like you're not going to be trapped in like this computation, this metaphysics, right? Like if you actually get, right, the physics of symbols, and that's like the whole point with Patsy,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. I see.
Like that irreversibility and all that is the norm. It's not reversibility. It's not, uh, you know, computation. It's not It's not, the mechanistic hypothesis, right?
Mhm.
But you can only see that once you actually like identify, you know, the limits of it, right? The limits of, machines and all that.
Right. I
Like
see.
finite state automata, right? Like the, you know, uh, single manipulators, right?
Mhm.
Rule based single manipulators, Turing machines, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or what do they call it? Mathematical machines, right? Formalisms, formalizations, all that stuff. Sorry, I'm I'm tired. Remember,
You're good. I mean, I'm
so
just.
I'm having hard times finding words right now.
No, you're good. I'm getting this. I'm getting it.
But I do
So.
think when I'm tired, I explain things in simpler words.
Well, that's yeah, probably true.
Like I'm better at explaining things in simpler words.
Yeah. So the next section is about the
like
antibodies and the and.
important, right? Like Patsy's work is like it's kind of hard to get into. Like it's like once from the outside looking in, you're like, what is going on here? You
Right.
don't really know what the relevance of it is or what's really going on here, right? But then once you understand some things about it, then it's pretty like obvious, it becomes pretty obvious.
Yeah. I'm glad somebody's doing the work on it, but I'll just see what he says about it.
Yeah, I would just recommend, like, you can just I would recommend looking through the papers and specifically the ones where he talks about physics of symbols. Like, you can control F for that, right? Or yeah, like physics of symbols is really probably the best,
Uh-huh.
because maybe you won't find specifically him saying physics of symbols word for word, but like in a couple of papers that he does say it, I know those are really good ones.
Okay. Okay.
Like, and when he says physics of symbols, like in those quotes, like he talks about the importance of it. Like, I was gonna say what he says, but then like I didn't even bother remembering what he says. But like, you'll see what he says about why it's important, and like you know, what people think about physics, the physics of symbols, right?
Right. Okay.
But basically, he contrasts it with the, like, the computationalist, like, metaphysics, right? The church Turing, Pythagoras, like, thesis that Rosen talks about,
Mhm. Um. So.
So that's
So.
basically what this whole lecture is about. Lecture
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. I mean,
So
they go
that
into.
so I remember how we got here, right? So basically, when I first read it, I didn't understand any of that. So I didn't understand why he's bringing past E here. But then once you get into it, right, then you understand why. Because Peter Cariani, like, How to Evolve an Ear, this paper, right, is basically in the same line of, like, work as Patti, right? And what Patti's doing here. And that's why the lecture is about Patti. And you'll see Patti, he references Cariani's paper a bunch of times. So I think it would be easy.
Okay.
It would be you could probably understand it better. Also, if you search through, Patti's work for where he references that, or where
Okay.
he cites that, what he says about that,
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
to see like the relevance of that. Turvey Turvey is like, I don't know why Turvey does this, bro. It's so hard to like. It's like, I understand that it's relevant, but it's like he leaves out the explanation of why it's relevant.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I'm with
know
you.
what I mean?
Oh, I'm with you 100%. I have not been impressed by Turvey's writing. That's for sure.
I mean, but it's kind of like the format of the book. Really, it's like
Yeah.
it's not. It's meant to be presented as lectures, right?
Yeah.
Uh, like, you're presenting the lecture, so you're fleshing it out, as you're talking about it, right?
Yeah. I just think it needs more Fred, but what, whatever. Um.
And like, this is like, it's trying to cover everything, right? What you would, like I said, I don't know if you were there, like we talked about before, he's a professor, bro, and not all of his students are just taking ecological psychology classes. Their psychology, they're taking classes on psychology. A lot of them are not going to be ecological psychology
Yeah.
classes,
Some
right?
some of them are going to be Freudians. Yeah.
No, I mean, most of them are going to be like, you know, cognitive neuroscience, right? Like
Mhm.
cognitivism, computationalism, that stuff. So that's what he's like. He's like, he's trying to cover all of that stuff that they probably already are like getting, indoctrinated with. Like, they're what's it called? Familiar with, I mean, this
Yeah.
is what's relevant now today you were just probably taking a fucking class on this shit, you know.
Yeah.
That's like the context, right? You were just probably taking a class on this shit, right? So we're gonna talk about it
Right, right.
from our like perspective, right? A little bit, you know, from our perspective of things. Like step back a little bit and look at it, you know, from a wider perspective, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
Like, because when they're taught it, you know, by their other, like in their other classes, right? It's not really like critically examined, you know, like Turvey's doing. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just like this is the doctrine, you know.
Yeah, this is the dogma.
Like shut up and
Calculate.
you know, yeah, shut up and calculate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like repeating what they're learning in other classes, right? It's critically examining what they're learning in other, getting them to think about it. You know what I mean? The whole point, I think, is he's just trying to get them to think about it instead of, you know, just shutting up about it. You know, not questioning it. So, I mean, in with that like context, it makes more sense why he writes the way he does and what he writes about. I mean, keep in mind, right? The fucking people who uh who wrote like Introduction to Ecological Psychology, right? That's supposed to be like an undergraduate graduate like book, like
Yeah.
right? They basically got everything like from Turvey's lectures, you know, from like Turvey's classes.
Yeah. So, the rest of this chapter is about the antibodies and the antigens, sort of how that kind of relates.
Oh yeah, I thought this was cool. It's like because there's a lot of, I mean, there's not as much as other, you know, like research, you know, on animals, right? Uh, just like microscopic, like animals and locomotion and stuff. But like, you know, the ecological like principles, right? They apply to, you know, even the immune system, right? And like,
Yeah.
there's even I forget like this. I'm trying to remember like the specific terms. Like even in protein folding, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a whole book about that actually. Fucking, it's called like something in one dimension. I don't know. There's a whole book about that. So yeah, that's like, I mean, that's what I remember from my notes. Uh, like where I put this in my notes.
Are you talking about nutrition here?
What? No. Nutrition.
Okay. Biology?
Yo, we're talking about the fucking lectures, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah. I've dropped out a long time ago. I just did chapter 3.
Okay. So where are you at on those?
Uh, so I mean, is there anything? I mean, the whole antigens and antibodies, like that's just. I mean, I think it's interesting, but and like you said, it shows that the immune system follows the same exact rules and laws that
Did we talk about the? We didn't really talk about the Bernard cell stuff.
I mean, we've mentioned it. We brought it
That's
up.
gonna be. That's gonna be like important for the next lecture. For not like the next VC, the next lecture that we're gonna talk about.
Yeah. I know a bit about the. I understand the convection cell stuff, and I read lecture 20, so yeah.
Yeah, it was just like kind of like introducing. The more important stuff is like in lecture 20. So, uh, connectionism and subsymbolism. I forgot what was here. What was here in 19.4?
In 19.4, uh, 19.4 isn't that the past? No, that's connectionism and sub.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Right at the end of the past year, they Turvey brought up non-obvious variables again, non-obviousness.
Yeah, I don't really know what that means, but I assume that's like what people say about instincts, right? Like that's
Yeah.
yeah. A non-obvious variable that people aren't taking into account.
But yeah, what's in lecture? I mean, what's in section 19.4?
I don't. I mean, I don't really get it. Like it's just this sub symbolism. Like it's just more of this PSSH stuff. PSSH, and it's like I don't. You know.
Well, what it's talking about the beginning is just like the arbitrariness of symbols.
Yeah.
Da-da-da. Then the coordination of PSSH and Turing's thesis forewarns that the brain's physical structure will prove irrelevant to this attribution. Yep. Yeah, that's like the whole what's it called? The disembodied thing from lecture. It was in lecture 16. Lecture 16 that we skipped over. Cognition is disembodied and propositional, or syntactic. Like it's the formality condition, right? It's fucking mental processes are computations over symbols, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Or representations. I mean,
yeah. This just seems like stuff that I really need to dig deep in to sort of wrap my head around it.
yeah, he's trying to like tie off all the knots in part two, right? Part two of the book, in that whole like set of lectures, right? Because this is the last one.
Yeah.
The typical, and he's talking about oh yeah, this is kind of outdated, right? Because connectionism was big like a couple of years ago, like in like cognitive neuroscience, right? So this is kind of outdated because this was released like in 2019 or whatever, and the lectures that it was based on, I guess, were a couple of years older than that, right? At least.
Yeah. Right. So So connection
So
to
it's
the
a bit it's a bit outdated. You know, it's not as relevant as it was. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's basically the whole like you know, the fucking the computationalists, right? They drop theories like fucking you know, like every other year, every couple of years, like they pick up a new theory and then they fucking drop it, you know, for like another one, right? That's like another one picks up the reins at being better at like obfuscating shit and pushing like answers to questions like down the road, you know, kicking the can down the road, right? And like making everything vague so it's not able to be questioned, right? And like the one that's like the best, like the the peak of it now is the free energy principle stuff, you know, the active inference people.
Sounds similar to like contemporary philosophy, where they just confuse you with terms and also all things.
Yeah, I would search up Mangalam free energy. Mangalam free energy principle. And he has a
Free
bunch of
energy.
papers. Yeah.
That sounds like some conspiracy stuff.
Mangalam free energy principle. Search that up on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, on Google. And he has a bunch of papers like just shitting on it, you know, saying like explaining how it's like fucking just another one of these, like it's just the new theory that's, you know, now the best at like obfuscating shit, like I was saying, right? The kicking down the kicking the
Doesn't
can down the road and all that.
doesn't free energy violate thermodynamics? Like no energy is free.
I don't. It's not. That's not what it means. But like, it's like free energy is another term for, you know, potentials, right? Like field potentials, thermodynamic potentials. It's also called free energy, but the free energy principle has nothing to do with that. Just like fucking, you know, and Shannon's theory of information for communications engineering, right? It's he uses the term entropy, which has nothing to fucking do with the physical quantity of entropy in thermodynamics. I don't know why these people keep trying to steal terms from thermodynamics. Right,
Right.
they have like, and their use of them has absolutely nothing to do with thermodynamics. But
Yeah.
basically, uh, it's just you know, Bayesianism. That's really what it is.
Probability type stuff.
Yeah, read Mangalam's posts about it. I mean, his papers about it. Like, just like take a look at them. I mean, they're pretty funny. I think the titles are pretty funny.
Yeah, I mostly read libertarian stuff nowadays. I'm just here, and you know, I haven't read anything since chapter 3.
So
Okay.
The Complete Idiot's Guide to Sounding Like You Understand Free Energy Principle. Survival Manual for Academic Conferences.
Oh, I need that. Sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, that's from
A
Madhur
pseudoscientific ideology in neuroscience.
Can you use the word ideology for just regular sciences?
Huh? No, I mean it's like it's not science.
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
you can use ideologies for science. Right?
I thought like ideology had to do with law and stuff relating to law.
What?
No.
Or politics, whatever, than politics, but like
No.
Politics, yeah.
yeah, but like anarcho-capitalism is an ideology, right? But it's not political.
No, it's not.
What
Bro.
is it then? What is it
It's
then?
it's a legal theory. I mean, it's a philosophy of law.
Okay. Yeah, aren't all the other sort of ideologies?
Ideology, I mean, is like, bro, I don't know why we're talking about this. Fuck. Why are you making me talk about this?
That's the thing I care about. Sorry.
Okay, ideology is not philosophy. That's all you gotta know.
Yes, sir.
Hey, ideology literally
Because
means
philosophy
science.
is not belief, right? Philosophy is not a belief system. Like ideology is just like, you know, the set of beliefs, right? However you'll define that set of beliefs, right? It's just a set of beliefs, right? But philosophy
knowledge
is knowledge, not belief.
But isn't belief like isn't knowledge a subset of belief?
No, that's a huge error.
Also?
Bro. Here we go, bro. Here. Read this, bro.
No, just give an argument. Sorry.
No, read this, bro. I'm not going into a bunch of shit with you, bro.
Okay. Yeah, well then I'm not reading it then, I guess.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to answer your question, bro, you're gonna have to read it. So.
Guess I'm just gonna say the wrong thing then, I guess. You don't have any
Yeah,
arguments.
I mean, you are. I guess. Yeah, you are just gonna say the wrong thing because you don't check your fucking premises. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, but you haven't.
It's not my fucking problem, bro.
You haven't given an argument. You're just saying I'm wrong.
Why do I have to provide a fucking argument, bro, for you to check your premises? Okay, bro.
What's wrong with my premises?
Bro, all I'm
You're saying
saying
it's
is
wrong.
you clearly haven't fucking checked them, bro. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I think I have. I mean, how do you know?
No,
How do I know? Like
I promise you haven't.
Huh?
So if you would like to check your premises, this paper right here can really help you out with that. So.
Okay, so like if I know something, do I not believe it? Do I stop believing it?
We're not talking about this right now, bro. This is like I'm trying to tell you, we're not talking about this. No, you brought this up.
You made
bro.
a claim and you just want to move away from it.
Okay, bro. Do you not want me to tell you you're wrong when you're wrong? When you're saying something fucking stupid?
Yeah, but you have no justification. That's the problem.
Bro.
You haven't given any justification. You haven't given any.
I don't have to give my justification if I don't fucking want to, bro. I know that you have none because you haven't checked your fucking premises, bro. I know you fucking haven't, bro, because of what the fuck you're saying, bro. So I don't like this is done, bro.
Like
It's
the
done.
reductio of the opposite is just that if I know something, then I stop believing in it, which is obviously nonsense. Obviously, if I know something, I also believe it.
Bro.
Yeah, I mean, that's no argument. Sorry.
I'm trying not to get into an argument. I'm trying not to talk to you about this,
Okay,
bro.
yeah, just
because
don't
it's
make claims then.
It's something. No, bro. I'm going to tell you when you're stupid, bro. And I would assume, right, that you would want me to. Okay. But I'm not going.
Yeah, if you have a justification,
no,
sure.
you're not gonna come in here, right? You're not gonna come in here and then drag us away from what the fuck we're talking about, bro. We're talking about these lectures, bro. We're talking about, and you're trying to bring in something that's irrelevant, okay? Like you're trying to have a whole discussion that's irrelevant, right? You want to have this whole discussion that's irrelevant, and I'm telling you it's irrelevant, and I'm telling you I'm not gonna have it right now, okay?
Okay, fair.
Like that's not I don't know, that's not an evasion for me, bro. You know what I mean? I would have to sacrifice this thing that I value more in order to do that, bro. That would be a sacrifice.
Yeah,
that
sorry,
would
I thought about it. Yeah, I guess it's stupid of me, and yeah.
be, bro. If you like, and I'm trying to help you out here. I'm not leaving you with nothing, right? It's not like I'm leaving you with nothing.
Yeah.
Hence,
No,
sent
yeah, I
you the
see what you mean.
fucking
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I thought about it. Yeah, you're right. I'm also
Right.
like you're
I don't
in the
leave you
middle
with
of the.
nothing, but I give you that so we can move on. Right?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry,
Alright.
bro. It's also kind of my fault that I'm just like having a like I'm tired right now. You know, I barely got any sleep, so I'm like
I see.
I'm already having a hard time just trying to stay focused.
Right.
Alright. Want to do lecture 20?
Hold up, bro. I've been rolling this fucking joint for like an hour. Let me finish it. Let me roll it up really quick. I'm telling you that paper is like is not it's highly relevant and you'll definitely get some answers from it.
Funny thing is the only people I've heard who say what you say are flat earthers. I'm no longer, by the way, but that's just saying.
Say what I say. What do you mean?
Like saying that knowledge is not belief. The only other people I've heard who say that are flat earthers.
I mean,
I'm just
I don't know.
interesting fact.
I
Whatever.
don't think there's a
You gotta say
connection
that
there.
too. I mean, that's
I don't think there's a connection there. If you think
No,
there is,
sure.
there's no
No,
like that would be differentiation, right? But like non-essentials, right?
yeah.
If you tried to
I just said a fun fact, I guess. Whatever. It probably doesn't even have relevance.
I don't know, maybe it's like the first time you've ever just said that. I mean, like in front of an objectivist, or I don't know. I don't know. Most of the objectivists are pretty bad on epistemology, so I'm not gonna.
You're correct on that. Yes, you're actually correct. I was surprised when divinity was like had like everything down in terms of like facts and
Most
truth and all that.
objectivists are pretty fucking bad on epistemology. I'm like, bro, think like if I ask you right now, right?
Mm.
Who is the best objectivist? Like who out of all the objectivists you know, who is the best on epistemology?
Like I know personally, or that I know of.
Yeah, that you know personally.
Good question. Like, I don't know divinity personally, but if I did, I guess
I mean,
like
like the
divinity.
objectivists you talk to, like you've experienced their competence with fucking epistemology, bro.
Right. I mean,
Obviously, I'm saying the answer should be me. I don't know who the fuck else it would be.
okay. Sure. I mean,
I don't know, bro. You tell me who the fuck else would it be?
yeah, I don't think most of them are very good on it. I just, yeah, I mean, you made very good points about how ontology relates to epistemology. I would say that's
Like
very.
I know that you know I'm good on epistemology.
Okay, whatever.
I've helped
Okay.
you out on epistemology a bunch, right?
Okay. That's true. Yeah, you told me how we know. That's a very good book. That taught me a lot. Yes.
What I mean, like the question, right, is like, has anybody else, helped you out on epistemology more than I have?
Good question. I think not actually, because you told me how to read How We Know, which was very important.
Beyond just telling you to help read that, right? I've helped you out.
Yeah, probably. Yes. I mean, I'm not remembering right now. Do you have an example? I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, or you can
Like
move on. I
we've
guess
had a
with
bunch
the
of
stuff.
discussions, like me teaching you stuff about like concept formation.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're correct. Definitely you then. Yes.
I mean, nobody has given more PDFs than G. Like, that is true.
Yeah, but I don't read them.
Well,
That's the thing.
we're back to square one.
I mean, bro, I don't know. Like, read whatever, and you'll be like, damn, like like you won't regret it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've read How We Know, but like
I'm telling you, bro, you'll be like, shit, I should have read this shit sooner because I know for a fact I've probably sent you this shit like 5 times.
Okay.
Okay, bro. Ah, I got this shit rolled up now. I mean, you could just control F in that paper, bro, for belief, and you'll fucking
Yeah.
The last one you sent there in VC text.
yeah, ecologic the consequences of a commitment to realism.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's epistemology, I guess. Yeah, so I guess that's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's fucking like I've read this paper like 10 fucking times, bro. It's such a good paper.
Okay, okay. It's a bit long.
Where the fuck is my lighter? Here it is.
It's a chapter from a book, though.
Ugh.
Don't worry, guys. Once when G gets high, we'll definitely be on track.
Yeah, we will, bro. I mean, you think we won't, bro? I'm like,
You're gonna lock in. I know.
yeah.
G needs the weed, and Zulu needs alcohol. It's the focus.
I don't need it, bro.
You say then.
You don't need it, but you want it.
I don't want it.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yo, bro, you're recording. Somebody's gonna fucking clip that.
I've not been recording.
Yeah, don't.
No.
Don't want to
Oh, no,
ruin your.
Leave G out of context.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna fucking clip that out of context. I wanted it. Okay. Are we back to lecture? No. Did we finish lecture 19? No. There's yeah, it's just you know, like talking about how like they try to think about how the arbitrariness of symbols, right, is like implemented, you know, physically, right?
Right.
And that's basically what fucking Patti answers. You know, that's Patti's answer, right? And it's like that's why he's saying like, well, the PSSH is like a half truth, you know, because it kind of is, right? But it's like
yeah, definitely.
when you secure the symbolic mode, right? When you secure rate independence, right? Like we've talked about, right? You know, a formal description, right? That's independent of, you know, the material or dynamical description, right? Then you have this whole like you can treat it as like a timeless, like inert, you know, like a symbol, right? Like just purely dependent. It's purely determined by rule and nothing else. You know, like the rules fixed in advance, right? Because like the rules, remember, are like the like stencils, right? They're like the shape sorter toy, right? That's exactly what it's like, right? So
Right.
it's purely determined by the rule because the rule literally has it has, you know, it has the hole like already cut into it, right?
Right. Right.
And that's just what it is. That's just what the symbol is. It's the one or the zero, you know?
Right.
The Boolean measure, right? That's the rule measures just basically like position in a sequence of types, right? Position in a sequence of types. It's
Okay. Yeah. Right.
you know what I mean. It's not they're pure. They're not like they can be rearranged and arranged, you know, and concatenated. That's how you say it,
Yeah.
right?
Concatenated. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
get you.
they're completely independent of one another, right? But like you can have an algorithm, like a list of these rules, right? Where you're just like every single uh like position in the sequence, right? You can like you can check those rules against the symbol, right?
Sure, like DNA, like what they do with DNA, right?
But yeah, but it's a little bit different, right? But like think of it like this, like the fucking like the cutout is like square and circle. It has a square and a circle on it already cut into it, right? And there are a bunch of other cutout shapes,
Right.
right?
Right.
A bunch of other rules, right? So we're going through these rules, this finite list of rules. That's an algorithm, right? And checking, each the symbol right in that position, right? Against each rule, right? So then we get the square, right? And because we have the square, the next symbol is circle because the circle is already in the rule, right? It's already the output is already uh fixed in advance. You know what I mean?
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's a mapping from symbols to
Yeah.
symbols.
Like how? Yeah, just like how computers work. Ones and
Yeah,
zeros.
that's exactly how computers work.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what it's like, and that's what is really stupid when people try to say, well, you got to compute the output, you got to compute the goal. You know what I mean? You can't get the goal from the environment. You gotta compute it, right? But like, what that means is that you already have the goal. You already have the output. You already have the output domain is fully specified. It has to be for computation to,
Yeah.
or else computation can't halt.
Of course
Right?
it does. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's
Yeah.
that's the halting problem.
Yeah. You have exactly. Okay. The halting problem. I've never heard of that.
That was in like that was in one of the lectures we skipped.
Oh, okay.
It was originally Turing who formulated that problem, the halting problem.
Yeah, because I know. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because I know computers, right? Programs have the
Right.
halt.
Right. Yeah. So you wouldn't ever be able to do the computation, right? If
Yeah.
it doesn't halt.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The computer has to. It has to know the out. It has to already have been pre-built with the outcome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, it's just like it doesn't make any sense when you're saying like, oh, you got to compute the goal, you got to compute the output, because computation, you're just like discovering the output, but like, no, you're not. You're working within this, uh, like rule-based system, right? Like
Yeah.
when even just like when you're doing mathematics, right? When you're doing calculations, right? You have to know, like you're basically you don't have like this is the difference between like fuck. I'm trying to go into a bunch of different stuff here.
Like 2
Okay,
plus 2 has. It's always
like
going to equal 4.
you have all the numbers and stuff, right? So you have a
Okay.
finite alphabet. You have a finite alphabet, a finite number of symbols, right?
Okay.
And basically they're all in the output domain. They're already fully specified, right? You don't get the information by which you select, right, the output is not like it's not specificational information, right? It depends on specificational information. Like that's like unentailed. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I
Like and you
I get
see
you.
Turvey like talk about this in a bunch of other papers. Distinguishing specificational information from indicational information, right? And indicational information is like the information, and like this like I'm using this plate of lasagna, right, as a representation for apple, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? It depends on specificational information already specifying the apple, right? For me to do that, for me to indicate the apple with it, right? To use it as a symbol of the apple.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to have an independent source of it, right? Which is specificational information, right?
Yeah. I mean,
But in the symbolic mode, right, the output's already fully specified,
yes, yeah. I mean, I do
right?
computer programming, and it's exactly like that. Like the output must have already be known. Like that's what you're the computer isn't calculating this output. It's not. Yeah, I get that.
Well, that's what calculating is. It's just like you have this already like fixed like it's all fixed in advance, right? And you're just you know you just like you just do like rote repetition, right? It's recursive. Remember, it's just like you just repeat the same operation, right?
Right.
The same like rule based transformation, right?
Right.
And that's how you get the Taylor's theorem. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
That's Taylor's theorem. We
Yeah.
talked about that like lecture
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. I know Taylor's theorem. Yeah.
But that's the only entailment, right, in the symbolic mode. It's the only entailment that's in the symbolic mode, right? So it doesn't have uh, any other modes of entailment, right? But all the like it necessarily has unentailed components. Remember, because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not rich enough in entailment. Like it's relying on entailment that's coming like from outside of it, right?
Right.
That's being like externally posited,
Yeah, it's stealing
right?
it. It has to steal it.
Right. Yeah. It's like parasitical, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, my computer's turned off, so I don't really know where we're at right now.
I mean, I think we're done with lecture 19. So.
And you kind of see that's what he's getting at here with the instructional and selective, indirect and indirect, right?
Yes.
He's kind of like hinting at that there, right? But not using the same terms he does in other papers. Here's one of those papers where he distinguishes, indicational versus specificational information, right? And the former being dependent on the latter.
Okay.
And yeah, this one too. Here, actually, I should be instead of the PDF file, like I should be putting the Google Doc link. Yeah. Yeah, but that's an important distinction because I mean, Shannon information is information in the indicational sense, versus Gibson's sense is specificational information.
Okay.
And you remember the stop sign example in Introduction to EcoSec, right?
Not. What was that one? I don't.
Like how the stop sign is not specific to, like the stop sign, right? Is not specific to what's it called? The force required to like come to a stop, right, with the car. You know what I mean?
Oh. Okay.
Right.
Right.
It's like it's the optic flow,
Yes.
right? That we have
Yeah.
to have independent, access to that we relate to the stop sign. You know what I mean?
Right. Same with like putting push or pull on a door as
Right.
as writing.
Because the stop sign is not going to get you that information.
Right.
You need, optic flow.
Yeah. You need to change the global optic array. Right.
But that like example is from this paper, from the first paper, the stop sign example, and like it's more fleshed out here. than I remember it in the Introduction to Ecopsych book. And in this paper, there's an important point, right? There's an important point in this paper. This other paper here. Maybe I should be sharing my screen then. Yeah, I'll share my screen to show.
All right.
You.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hold up. I can't hear you now. I just joined on my computer. Oh.
Testing, testing, 1, 2.
Just give me a minute. I just have to fucking. What the fuck? Okay. Share my screen. You see something?
Hello, testing, 1, 2.
Yeah. Okay, I can hear you. All right. Share my screen. There we go. You see my screen?
Yep, I see it.
Yeah. Why is it so zoomed out? Have you seen this paper? Yeah.
No, I haven't read this.
It's from like the 2012, I think, special issue where they talk about, fourth law, like autocatakinetic stuff. But there's a point here. Right. Concept of information cannot be developed systematically apart from considerations of activity. The principle of ecological realism imposes severe demands on the concept. Information must be unique and specific to the facts about which it informs, meaningful to coordination and control requirements of the activity, what can be done, continuously scaled to the dimensions of the system over which the activity is defined. That's an important point. Continuously scaled to the dimensions of the system over which the activity is defined. Right. Here we go. With regard to some state of affairs, a Shannon information theoretic analysis is a report on what the state of affairs is not.
Okay.
A report on what the state of affairs is not but might have been. Right? Information in the information theoretic sense, in the indicational sense, right? Reduces uncertainty. It is a metric by which this is information in Shannon's formalism.
Right.
For communication and engineering, right? Is a metric by which a state of affairs P is distinguished from other possible state of affairs, say Q and R, right? And you have a fixed alphabet of you got P, Q, and R, right? It is not, however, a metric by which P is specified, right?
I see.
If the system were an organism in the possible state of affairs of the environment of the system were ergodic, that is fixed and given a priori, then the criterion, right? If the system, right, the organism, possible state of affairs in the environment were fixed and given a priori, right? Then the criterion of distinguishing between these fixed a priori terms, right, already specified, would suffice for a conception of information. But right, if the complement of the state of affairs of the environment, actual and possible, was non-ergodic and given a posteriori, right, an aspect both variant and invariant, then the criterion to be pursued would be that of specifying rather than distinguishing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Of course, yeah.
Right, so the indicational sense, right, the like the information for computation and communications engineering, right, that is basically it just, and this is how you're doing, you know, math, like in a formal system, right? You're like you're just selecting the correct output given the rules, right? You're just like, you see the rule, you see the square, right? Like the square fits in the hole, and then you're just getting this, like, and then you, like, the rule says circle, right? So you the rule just gets the circle from the output domain. I mean, it's, that the rule selects the circle from the output domain because, you know, the square, right?
Right.
Because this state was square, so next state is circle, right? That's all it's saying, right? It fully determined the state, though. Remember, right? Even the first state was already fixed in advance,
Okay.
right? Like this whole relation, right, from like square to circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
This whole mapping was fixed in advance, right? So basically, the rule is just selecting, you know,
Square
the
circle.
output from, you know, all the already, you know, the finite like outputs, right? They're
Right.
just in, they're already in the output domain, just like they're already fully specified, they're already fixed in advance, right? And that's all it's doing,
Okay.
right? But it's not like it can't be the basis of how, you know, all of that gets specified, you know what I mean?
Right.
How did it get specified? Where the specification come from? It can't answer that.
Well, it could be a priori, right?
Yeah, no.
That solves the problem.
Yeah, it doesn't, right? It pushes it
Right.
down the road.
Pushes it down the road.
And this is like why, like, I don't know if you were here or no, it wasn't here. Like I was talking about it in the chat, right? How Rosen in Essays of Life Itself, right? He talks about there are two ways, right? Generally two ways to halt, like to stop the infinite regress here, right? It's either, right, like you're just gonna have like fuck. I'm trying to remember how I put it in the chat. I'm still sharing my screen. Well, okay. Now I can just do this. I can just search it in the chat. There we go. Infinite regress. I was talking about the, you know, between like linear chains, right, and closed loops of entailment, right? I was talking about the distinction there, but like you have this if you're going to, you know, entail X, right? Say X entails Y, how do you entail X, right? Like if Y did, like, because the linear chain is, well, Y can't, you know, entail X, right?
Right.
So X entails Y. How do you entail X? X is unentailed unless you get another term, fucking like omega,
Z.
right? Yeah, whatever, Z, right? And Z entails X, right? But what then what entails Z,
Yeah.
right? So basically, either you can stop the infinite regress two ways. Either you have it so when you're considering, you know, this entailment, X entails Y, you don't have to consider the entailment of X, right? You can just leave it like it's still like what entails it is unentailed. Like it's outside of the system. It's outside of, you know, like when we're talking about machines,
Yeah,
right?
it's God.
There's I mean, there's unentailed components, right? That can't be entailed, by any like internal, purely like syntactic means, right? You can't get semantics out of syntax, right? So basically, and that's what we were talking about with the whole symbols thing, right? And like treating them as like inert, right? By
Right.
like exporting out the dynamics, right? And so that way we can end the infinite regress, and that's how it is ended, with like computational engineering, right? Just like normally, right? That's how machines work and everything. They always have unentailed components,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then the other way, but they're like it's something is entailing it outside, like, you know what I mean? In that way, something is still entailing it. It's still begging the question, but it can entail it. You know what I mean? So we can ignore it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get you.
So then there's not an infinite regress because it's entailed, but it's not entailed by uh, X and Y, right?
Right.
So we can ignore it, and there's
Yeah.
no infinite regress. But and then in a closed loop of entailment, that's the other way. Right? And you'll see Rosen talks about this in Essays on Life Itself. He talks about how like these two ways of ending that infinite regress, right? Or like not letting it even happen, right, in the first place. Right? And basically, he also says that like every infinite regress is just a result of trying to deal with like impredicativities, right? Trying to account for impredicativities in purely predicative terms. And I mean, I don't want to go too much into it not right now, but Rosen gives like a really in-depth explanation of all those points
Yeah.
in Essays in Life Itself.
No, that's good.
And that's why I keep recommending
I,
people to like to control F in this book for impredicativities, all that stuff.
yeah.
You can control F for infinite regress for that point, because those are some really good points, I think.
Yeah, I need to read it.
That's
All
the
right.
right one, right? Essays on Life Itself. Yeah, you can see where he talks about it. Infinite regress. Oh, maybe I'm missing something. What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, that's
You opened
you
up
did
that.
inspect.
Yeah, you did inspect.
I know. I pressed a bunch of random buttons by accident. Yeah.
Well, that'll do it.
Oh yeah, it's not searching in the fucking thing. Gotta search like that. There we go. There you go. So I forget what chapter it is. Like it's this chapter. The mind brain problem.
What?
Yeah, this chapter 8.
What does Frozen make of it?
Well, this is where he talks about, there's two ways to end the infinite regress, right? You have this a priori, unentailed thing, right? Which is just kicking the can down the road. And then the other way is you have a closed loop of entailment and predicativity. X entails Y entails X, right? So X is entailed. There's no unentailed terms. There's no room for any smuggling in of unentailed terms, right?
But then how like mind comes up in a temporal scale?
What?
Like in the history of life, how does mind comes up in a temporal scale? Like there was a point where there was no mind.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So how did the process of mind becoming looked like?
What's like the relevance of that? I don't understand what the relevance of this question is.
It's very relevant because it shows us like the amount of complexity a being would have, how the organs involved in the process would be, like if like right before it actually happens, like how were things? Was it gradual? Like what's the first point where we can like pinpoint, okay, this is perception, okay, this is cognition, this is consciousness, you know? Is it possible to do it? If not possible, why? Because it's so processual, it's such a big like
I don't know, but what's the relevance of this question?
it's relevant because it's
Why does everybody keep coming in here and just asking like the most basic question, like that's not
it's
like
basic, but
relevant to what
it's
exactly we're
unanswerable.
talking about, you know?
Oh, sorry.
Bro, like I mean we kind of are getting into that in the next one that we're about to get into in the next lecture, in lecture 20 we're about to get into now.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
did you not see in here in EA workshops? I just posted a whole chat that you can talk to about that, right?
Yeah.
You talk to about exactly that, right? Because there's a whole fucking body of work on that we're like about to talk about.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
gonna get
literally
there.
Swenson is literally all that Swenson talks about.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I have to go, but I'll keep recording. So you can do lecture 20
Okay.
with Aubergine if he read it.
Well,
So.
I can't do lecture 20 without you, bro. You didn't. Nobody fucking read it.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
Aubergine, did you read it?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
No. I wasn't able to actually. Literally wasn't able to.
I mean, lecture 20 is
Yeah.
you know, gleaning at the answer of your question for sure.
Yeah.
But there's more to it that I do like. It's but that's what I made this chat for, that you can dive deeper into. You know, with like there's a lot more to it. I gave it all the papers on that, right? You could like start. You can look through some of that, but Swenson's work is really where all of that is. Especially this one, thermodynamic reasons for perception action cycles.
What's
I
the name
think
of the
it.
2025 one?
I mean, I have the years here. See, 2025 Swenson
It's
symmetry.
symmetry. It's but because he was talking about autokinetics, and I never understood it. But
Here.
sorry, I don't want to derail the lectures.
Well, it's already over. I mean, Oh Knows is gone. He had to leave. So here's the papers. I put them in EA workshops. Swenson's papers. But this one right is like one, you know, that people reference for this, for like their work on this. This one's with Turvey.
Okay.
But yeah, the I would recommend also, you know, reading the newest papers, the 2024 and 2023 one. I mean 2025. I mean.
Yeah,
2025
I
and
read the
2020.
2025 one, but I didn't understand it. I wasn't able to understand it. Only
Well,
some of the
maybe.
examples, like the information needed to like get it. I
Yeah,
don't know if I have it.
I think you'll get it, bro. It's maybe like at the very like beginning, it'll be hard to grasp. But like I don't know. For me, it's really easy to grasp now, so I can't really like relate. Like I can't really understand, you know, what like why it's hard for you to grasp, you know. But I mean, Turvey also talks about it in lecture 20 here.
Mm-hmm.
in a different way than Swenson does, in most of his papers. So like expanding like it's like this. It's this spiral theory of knowledge, bro. You have to start somewhere. Right? You just don't get stuck on it, bro. If you'll only understand it really like like the spiral theory of knowledge says you have to you know come back to later with expanded context, because the context when you expand the context uh over here, like you gain, like think of it like you gain a new unit of knowledge that expands the whole context. It enriches the whole context and every unit in that context, right? Because it's contextual, like, and that's how they talk about it. The objectivists, they talk about it like that. But
Contextual.
right, so you'll come back with a richer context, right? If you don't get stuck on on like one paper, like you read through it at first, right? And then go like this. Like I read Turvey's lectures first and I didn't understand shit about it, right? But then like I kept coming back to it. I kept coming back to it after reading more things, right?
Yeah.
And this is good, like how Turvey talks about these things in a different way here than Swenson does in most of his papers, so you can get more a larger context, right? So you can start to understand things, start making connections. I'm trying, like I said, I don't know why it's hard for you to grasp, because I can't relate there.
Yeah, and I can't
So
explain why
I'm
because I
just
don't
trying.
know.
Yeah, and so I'm just trying to say how you can,
Yeah. The path
how,
the path to getting the like the ability to
right,
understand it. I get it. I get it. It's
right.
it's very hard for me. I have to like make up time, Uh, I'm
Yeah, I could definitely see
trying.
how like it would be, I guess, like hard to grasp at first, but it's not that it's hard to grasp. It's that you just need to let it, like, give it time, and like give it gain more knowledge about other things, right? And then you'll see the connections once you have the things that you can connect it
But
to,
you think that the better order of operations is like doing introduction to ecopsych and then lectures on perception?
Yeah, introduction to ecopsych I think would actually help a lot with what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, when they get into thermodynamic stuff, this is what they're talking about, right? So, and they talk about it in a lot simpler terms. So like you know using that like in conjunction, right, with more complicated like explanations, right, the more complicated expositions of it, right, and you can make some more connections, right, and understand things more, right, both ways,
Okay.
but yeah, the discussion of that and introduction to ecopsych is pretty good. I think it was like lecture. I mean, no, not lecture. Chapter
Well,
15, I think.
15. It's evolution. It's about evolution.
Yeah. The evolution chapter. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I gotta eat. You.